tal amigos? ¿Cómo están? Otro episodio del Roca Firme podcast. Gracias por sintonizar. Si están viendo en estos momentos, por favor compartan, hagan like y más importante, ¿por qué no nos dejan unos comentarios? Alguna pregunta que tengan para la banda, para el miembro, o si quieren dar un saludo, por favor, déjenlo en los comentarios. El día de hoy tenemos a un invitado especial y estoy aquí arreglando los controles porque me gusta estar aquí en la señal de en vivo, pero bueno, no pasa nada. Aquí está ya la señal y por si veo comentarios, pues los leo. Pero el día de hoy tenemos a una persona súper especial. Lo conozco desde que nació. Este, Creo que no sé si le cambió los pañales, no sé. Pero nos hemos conocido toda la vida, hemos luchado juntos, hemos llorado, peleado, abrazado, un poco de todo. Entonces este día quiero introducir a mi hermano en la carne, a Mo Rosales de la banda Roca Firme. A ver sus aplausos todos. Let's go. A ver,
What's
vamos.
going on, man? ¿Cómo están todos?
Aquí nomás, a ver dónde está. Ahí está. Así le veré. Así le veré. Nada más y nada menos que el Mo Roca Firme. Ahí está.
Muchas gracias,
How
muchas
are you, man?
gracias.
¿Cómo estás?
Good, man. Good to finally be able to sit with you and talk, Aunque somos hermanos, a veces ya nos tardamos semanas, meses en hablar. Hemos hasta we've rescheduled this like a couple times because of my schedule, but finally it's happened and I'm here and I'm ready to talk about anything and everything. You know,
No, pues sí, no. Thank you for coming out. Dan Atkinson, text him. He said he would watch if we did some English. So I told him that we would do a little
Danielito,
bit of Spanglish.
come on board.
Yeah, I don't know if you can text him because I have my phone open over here, but yeah, man, hemos estado haciendo este podcast ya unas varias semanas. Tuvimos a Tommy, a Nohan, a Jen, a Luis. Él es el que nos hizo un video con Silent Nine, con los teléfonos. Y hay varios otros amigos que quiero que vengan, como Julio de Comezón de Oír, que ya son monoser, gente que creció con nosotros en el ambiente. So, um, it's really good to have you here today. Este. What have you been up to, man? I know that we haven't seen each other probably like in 2 years.
No, it's been a little bit sooner than that.
No, I
I
went
probably
out
haven't
there.
physically seen you like in about 6 to 8 months, but um,
No, when?
when you released your single,
That was 2023.
damn, really?
Yeah, March or April, one
Oh,
of those.
damn, I'm still, yeah, I guess time is flying, dude.
Yeah, time flies, man. We gotta be careful. So, anyways, you do a lot. I know you still play for people, and you're busy. So, how's life treating you? What you been up to lately?
I mean, life is good, man. Like you said, there's a lot that I do. There's a couple, positions that I do within city, within my job, and then also in music. I try to keep busy as I can. Um, and then also juggling my own companies and stuff like that. But again, there's nothing I can complain about. Um, God's always been good to me and my family. So, um, yeah, man, just been staying super busy.
Yeah. So, how do you do it to balance?
It's difficult. I will say that it is hard, especially when you like I said, when you have a family and you gotta, you know, be at work and then have to leave because there's either a soccer practice or there's a game. There's always something going on. My family gets upset because they have to agendize, everything whenever they want to hang out. Like we have to calendarize it so that I don't like overbook and stuff like that. But it's good, man. Like I said, I think God preps us, you know, in different capacities to do different things. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to, um, to be able to do what I do with the support that I have.
That's great, man. That's great. A los que están mirando, amigos, estamos hablando inglés, español. Mándenos saludos aquí. Tienen comentarios para Mo de Roca Firme. Estamos platicando con él unos minutos aquí, instantes, para saber un poco más de él y todo eso. Um, so, pero todavía tocas. ¿Qué tocas? ¿Con quién tocas?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, there's different little projects that I do. For the most part, I'll help out, on Sundays or during the week, for different churches. And then always, putting notes on my phone of the different ideas. As you know, like the way that we write, we don't normally pick up an instrument. We just kind of sing melodies in our heads or rhythmic things and just record them on our phones. And then later on, you know, playing on an instrument. So there's a bunch of little voice notes that I have for different stuff that I want to work on or been trying to work on. Um,
Yeah.
and now expanding with getting software to be able to record your own stuff. So I think technology has advanced so much that you're able to do anything on your iPad nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's how I made the scratch for Me Siento Especial
Yeah.
on the Garage Band. So that's cool. And so, I mean, music has been a big part of your life. When is the first time you remember you said, "Wow, I want to play. I'm gonna grab the bass. I'm gonna roll with this."
If I'm being honest, I don't. There was never like a per se like a. I had an awakening. I was like, oh, I want to do music. Like I was a pretty normal kid. Went to church. You played drums. Everyone around me played music, and I just was playing around. Didn't have any ambition nor wanted to learn anything. And I just remember one day when I was in junior high, you're like, hey, I need a bass player. And I'm like, all right. He's like, look, there's a couple notes, just follow me on drums. And we just started messing around like that, messing around. And, as soon as dad sees you and playing an instrument, he's like, oh, you're learning how to play. And next thing you know, I was, playing on during the week, at church and didn't even know what I was playing, but they use you right away. So that's how I kind of started learning. And then I would say a year into high school, when I really got into music, got into band, and met different people, I think that's when it really started like feeling like a more like a okay, like this is like a need, like this is a way to get out emotions, a way to get out energies, a way to express yourself. Sometimes growing up in the church, you don't really find a way to express yourself. And I think this was a great way for me to, instead of going to, hit the joint, I would spend hours and hours, just practicing scales and trying to do better than, the other musicians at school. So it was like a ongoing thing. So I think for me, that's when it really hit like my first year in high school.
Wow. So what you're trying to say is that I'm part to blame for getting you into the music game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're being honest, yeah, because now even when I don't play, like I need to, like there's just no way.
Yeah.
I go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'm like, damn, I haven't played anywhere, I haven't done something. I'm like, I need to get on an instrument. So now
I
it's
bet
like
that
a need.
I bet that one of your first licks on the bass was probably Santos el Señor.
Yeah,
Boom, ch, boom,
that.
boom, ch, boom,
Yeah, it
boom.
was that, and and Iron Man.
Ajá. Boom, 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 boom. Man, that's funny. Y luego se da cuenta la iglesia que tocas dos notas y sabe tocar, súbanlo.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it was. And then next thing I'm listening to all the Marco stuff, all the, Juan Carlos Alvarado. Back in the day, that's who was hitting. So, um,
Yeah, yeah,
you learn all those songs and you go for it. And I think that prepares a lot of musicians for, especially church musicians, prepares them for like real life scenarios in music because nothing is rehearsed, nothing is planned. Nowadays, all the churches they have a rehearsal before the service and they do this and that. Back in the day, it was like, hey, we're going live and that's it. Like there ain't no practice.
you're right. Now we have the click and the what is it
¿Qué
called?
es eso?
The
Ahorita, imagine back in the day when we were playing, oh, pongan el pad, ¿qué pad? Like, it was
yeah.
nothing. It was live, bro.
There there was no sequences, none of that. I mean, I still have a love and hate for that. I feel that you become a slave to it, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds amazing, but you don't have the freedom.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so I, like you said, I came from a background where church was like, we didn't even know what to expect. It was just like, what are we gonna sing? What is the singer gonna give us right now? And we just had to kind of go with the moment. So it it it, it messes with me when things are so produced and coordinated. Like, give me an extra 2 bars and give me maybe three or more songs of the same beat. Don't change it up on me because I'm freaking praising, and now like the next song is like it's like a buzzkill.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about RF that we never used like sequences or tracks or anything like that, which gave us the freedom to do whatever we wanted and still sound full. I've been to
Yeah,
concerts where, it sounds amazing and then something goes wrong with the track and the band is left playing by themselves and it just sounds so empty and it sounds whack to be honest.
yeah,
But I'm with you, man. Like sequences and tracks, uh, they make you a better musician in the sense where you got to stay on time and all that. But
mm-hmm.
at the same time, it also handicaps your creativity to keep the room filled with actual music that you're playing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's all great, but there are pros and cons. And if you're gonna do away with the tracks and all that stuff, be able to hang without them, because then then they're gonna know, you know,
Yeah.
like these fools. You know what I mean? Saludos, Moisés. ¿Cómo estás? Moisés Balam, Luis
Saludos, saludos.
Salazar, Joseph. Están aquí viendo, compartan la señal. Estamos aquí con Moisés Mau Rosales de Roca Firme. And I think that you're an incredible bass player. You have a lot of theory and imagination to come up with stuff. Um, when would you say was the first time you're like, you know what? I don't just have to be a musician that sticks to one thing, but open to because I remember like, and there's a song that I admire a lot from all the songs that you've made for Roca Firme. Um, there's a song that I don't know what it's called, but it starts very sexy and like, I don't know if it's like falsetto notes or whatever, pero it's like it's pretty dope. Let's go into it. I don't know, yo no sé si han escuchado la canción Me Preguntan. Le estoy preguntando a Moy cómo se inspiró para el comienzo del bajo. Está bien sexy, bien melódico, bien así, bien así, bien, pues no sé explicarlo, pero Moy lo va a explicar, pero se los quiero enseñar unos segundos y luego hablamos de cómo se inspiró para hacer ese bajo. A ver, vamos aquí. Me preguntan por qué no soy como ellos.
great clip, man. That's a good song actually. One of my favorite songs. Este, bueno, pues esa canción, yo me acuerdo estaba, creo que en el 10th grade, en el 10th grade or 11th grade en la high school. Y en ese tiempo yo iba a la escuela a Lock High y en ese tiempo había otro bajista que también era un buen amigo mío. Se llama Steven Bruner. Muchos lo conocen como Thundercat o ahora en el mundo de la música. Y yo y él estábamos practicando escalas, estábamos practicando harmonics, estábamos tratando de sacar la canción Portrait of Tracy's de Jocko, que lleva muchos harmonics. So, yo me acuerdo que él y yo estábamos, dissecting the song and kind of figuring out to play it. And I just really got into harmonics. Llegué a la casa, empecé a jugar con más harmonics. And I just started doing that, going back and forth, from the E to the E flat with the harmonics, with the minor harmonics. And I was like, hey, this could be a good song. Um, and I remember cuando tuvimos al ensayo, le dije a nuestro baterista Moy, I'm like, hey, dame como ese style de beat. Y estaba tocando diferentes beats, like, no, ese no, not that one. Okay, that one, play that beat. And then I would start laying the bass line, and then everything kind of just fell apart. I mean, fell into place
Mm-hmm.
um, for that. And me acuerdo yo, que cómo nos podemos, like, we're a rock band, right? So, ¿cómo podemos tener esto que suena tan relajante y just disrupt it, right? So that's when we came with the chorus and we just went ham on it. And it was just a great mix, like it fell into place. Fue una de esas canciones que en un rehearsal salió. No era de planear y estar going back and forth y mejor hay que tratar esta parte. En un ensayo esa canción salió y se quedó así para siempre y no la hemos cambiado.
I know, man. It's a great song, very nostalgic just to kind of think about it. Um, and you're right. When you feel it, things just fall into place. And I've been listening a lot to Rick Rubin, and he's just saying like, make music that you like, because if you like it, others are gonna like it. Don't make music that people you think people's are gonna like, because then you're just lying to yourself. It's kind of hard, and I kind of get it. A lot of people make music because mainstream, and that's what they got to do to sell. But I think we've always like done what we liked, and
Yeah, I mean,
we've paid the price
at the end of
also.
the day, you have to like what you're playing. So I think for us, there's no songs that I can think of that I'm like, oh, I'm bored to play this song. Like they're just fun songs to play. Some more complicated than others. Some are super simple, but at the end of the day, there's songs that you like playing because like it's your favorite type of music.
Yeah. Aquí alguien puso que el mejor bajo es de AI,
Thank
de
you, thank you.
Isaac Brito Moreno. Gracias. Y luego Moisés dice, Balam, saludos, Obi Rosales, saludos, Tocayo, Moisés Rosales, Tizimín les espera de nuevo. Saludos, guys. So, is there another song from all the songs that you've played or created for Roca Firme that is one of your favorites to play, bass
Um,
wise?
I would say No Somos de Aquí is one of my favorites. One of those that are very high energy that gets the pit going. Also, Escucha, some of my favorite ones. Calor Inexplicable. Um, Ventanas is one of my favorites too. Is one of the new ones
Yeah.
that we haven't really pushed out, but yeah, I mean, I think there's not really. I can't really say all these are my like every song that we've put out. Like I've always enjoyed and liked. There hasn't been a song that I can say like, nah, ese no me gusta. Like they're all good songs. Not to sound like we write badass music all the time, but it's the truth. Like I like all the songs that we write, and when we don't like them, we don't even put them out. So it's very important for us como una banda que siempre sacar canciones que de verdad nos gusten y nos lleguen al corazón.
Yeah, yeah. Right now that you talked about that, we probably have 10 songs that we never released because the band split. And so we felt that if we continue with those, um, we'll be lying to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
They were
And
created
well,
with
not only that, it's like you have
that
other,
essence.
yeah, you have other, like, para mí, uno puede tocar, puede agarrar mi bajo que yo uso y no lo puede hacer sonar como yo lo hago sonar. Right? Cada instrumento tiene su voice. Um, y para mí, como si alguien más escribe una canción, right? Y no está grabada todavía, que el tono no está como en, like encapsulated in concrete, then if someone else interprets that, it'll sound different. It's just always gonna sound different,
Yeah.
you know? So it's easier to copy a sound once it's recorded, once it's been released, once it's been played. But when you just create music and it's not recorded yet, and you only have scratch guitars or scratch vocals, if someone else comes and actually lays it as the official one, it's not gonna sound the same. So I think
Yeah.
for us it's very important that, like you said, we keep true to the music, and that um, and that we don't sound better on a CD than we do live. I think that's always been very important to us to sound like or better,
Yeah.
when we play it live. Like, because we would be doing, our fans and people that love music a disservice if our album sounds great and live we sound like crap.
Yeah. I think early on we kind of got that point because our productions weren't the best at the beginning. And so we're like, okay, guys, we got to sound way better live to convince these people that we sound pretty kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
So, so, uh, but yeah, I've been going through some of the folders and some of that old music. I'm talking about like, we were supposed to have another album after Manos Heridas, right? That's 2007. So by 2009, we were supposed to have the follow up, and we never recorded those songs. And then we've had that big window.
Yeah, man. I mean, some of those songs, if you really like want to find them, you can find them on YouTube because we did play some of those live.
Hmm.
Um, but for the most part, they've never been actually recorded. And I would not oppose to recording those songs if we get some of those elements back, meaning, guitar players, them actually recording those parts and those songs the way they were intended. I think I would do it only if it was that way.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of um, that would have to go into it to make it happen. But uh, me personally, if it happens, is to bless other people around the world because they have a strong message still, and it's just not just the word, just like you said, who's playing that chord, that beat, that synth, it all transposes into the final product.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but you never know, man. You never know. Um, so we talked about did you talk about your favorite song,
Yeah, yeah,
Brazil
we talked
Days?
about some of my favorite songs. I mentioned a few of them, but like I said, I
Okay.
like all of them. Um, the crazy thing is though, is that whenever I'm driving and one of our songs comes up, like I'll skip it. Like I'll skip it even though like I like the songs. I always skip them, and I did that last week, and my son was with me, and my son's like, "Hey, put it back," and I'm like, "Really, you?" He's like, "Yeah, that's Roca Firme, man." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "How do you know about this song?" He's like, I saw you on YouTube, Dad. You're famous. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, all right, I'll put it back, you know. And then they start asking all these questions, you know, how was it when you used to play and people used to go? Are you ever gonna have a concert? I want to go to it, you know. So I think there's still that part of me that wants to go full circle and eventually, you know, do like a concert where like our kids can go and just see what, you know, their parents used to do when they were younger.
Same, same. I My son was watching that movie with Eddie Murphy and some other guy called Child Care or Child something, and the guy was entertaining the kids like Hava Nagila, and then out of nowhere, Jaden comes running with his phone with our version of it, Hava, and I was like, what? Like they do know. Uh, and I like going back to what you're saying. I would like to do a concert and have our kids there and everything. That's a feeling I've had too, where like they could see the actual experience, you know.
Yeah.
And but
You know
you
what?
know,
I think that what holds us back, and if I'm being honest, is Roca Firme, for the most part, had to do their own productions, their own shows, you know, because there was not really any promoters out there that would want to book us or invest, you know. Um, as people know in the industry, especially on the Christian side, it's sad because it's more like a mafia type of business. And if you're not in that little circle or mafia, you know, it's very hard to get distribution. It's very hard to get airplay. Um, so I think we had to do a lot of that work and a lot of that investment ourselves. That, you know, when we were in our mid 20s, we were like, dude, we're freaking burned out, you know. And now thinking about putting a show together is kind of like, I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
what it
yeah,
used to be like, you know, to get there, you know, at 5 in the morning and set up sound and help set up the stage, help do everything. And then after you do this 1.5 hour performance, you know, sweating and everything, everybody's gone. You say bye, you sign autographs. You know, it's 2 in the morning, and guess what? You got to break it all down. You know, so I think that that's been kind of holding us back from really doing a production because now, I mean, the finances are there to be able to do it ourselves, right? But again, it takes hard work. So if there's any
yeah. It
promoters out
does.
there that are listening and want to partner with us, I'm down. We just don't want to have to do all the work.
Yeah,
Too
yeah.
old for
You're
that.
right. You're right. We had to kind of do everything ourselves, and we didn't sound like everybody else, so it's just one of those things that uh, there's a lot of great people that took a chance on us. They supported us. Even young people became promoters just because they wanted to bring us to their events. But it was tiring, bro. Like I'm sure there's a lot of bands that still tour a lot, and it's grueling. They do 50 dates out of the year, um, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was all worth it to me. Uh, just seeing lives change and meeting so many people, traveling all over. That's my kick. Meeting new people and going to new places. Like I'm never gonna forget that. I got a lot of special love for my peoples over there in southern Mexico. Somebody here, Rana Rock. I guess they're doing Minatic Box Kawa Español. A ver, la raza que habla español, pongan en comentarios aquí. Queremos verlos presentes. A ver, what's up, Dan? He says, "Yeah, boy. Hey, we're doing English just for you, bro. You gotta come in."
Yeah, that Dan is the whitest Mexican I know.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's probably eating a burrito right now. You never know. But yeah, it was grueling, man. I mean, I'm still tired, I think. But it was worth it, man. I mean, it was just like it was a great season,
Yeah.
and I've had in my heart to make a documentary about it. I mean, we have all the footage, we have VHS, we have little tapes, we have CDs. We just have to put it together, and I think it's gonna happen. And honestly, I would only my main reason is legacy, so that our kids could see what we did and the impact. Because to us, it was real and true, and
Yeah.
so and you still see it, trickling. Like, hey, it was a great thing, a great time. I don't know what your thoughts about that are.
Yeah, I mean, with every great thing, there's also the ugly side of things, you know. Like we had a lot of great people that helped our career, you know, that wanted to see us thrive. Um, you know, like um, brother, what's his name, Santana. Like he's one of
Yeah.
the pioneers that like really saw our vision, and you know wanted to help us grow in that sense. And then there was other people, you know, in the industry that you know, saw the potential we had, and they were just like, just use us, you know, as an opener to bring in the youth and all that, and wouldn't really give us the time or would promise something else, and then, you know, sometimes would not even let us play. They would just put us on the flyers just to attract the youth, and it's a, it's a brutal world, you know, when you're working, you know, as an artist in the Christian side, and it's unfortunate because a lot of the Christian side is more of done on a handshake instead of contracts. So at the end of the day, if they lie to you, you can't sue nobody. You know, everyone's in denial of
Yeah.
everything. So I think we learned a lot from that. Um, but like you said, there's also a lot of beautiful things that came out of, you know, uh, of 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 us traveling. You know, like Brother Santa Cruz, that just passed. Also, one of our biggest
Hmm.
supporters, you know, and his family out there. Shout out to City of Tucson, you know, for always having love for us. Um, and yeah, man, anyone else that I'm forgetting, just know that if you're a part of the success of RF um, and who we are now, like you know, we thank you. We don't forget who you are.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of wonderful people out there still to this point. I get constant messages. When are you guys gonna? When are you guys gonna? And I mean, like you said, it's not easy. Like everything we did was self-financed, and it's like it's one of those things where you're like, I'm probably not gonna get this money back,
Yeah,
But like I said, if we have a bigger mission, then that won't matter, right? But I think we're in a different season in our lives, and there's so much potential. But I mean, at least this is one of the avenues that I wanted to use to just kind of just start talking again and connect with people, because that's what it's all about to me. Whatever I can do and put out that can motivate others, I'm gonna do, and I see the fruits of it. Hold on, somebody said, "Yeah, will you guys do a cappella?" Oh, Dan, only if you join us. Y a los amigos que están viendo que no hablan inglés, ah, pues aquí les trataremos de traducir, pero es que el Moy no habla español.
no manches, güey, ¿cómo que no es español?
Y luego es Maya, carnal, un saludo y los abrazos, los esperamos en Yucatán. I mean, yo digo que si haríamos algo en vivo y perrón, tendría que ser allá, porque allá sí tenemos mucho apoyo. Pero te digo, si hago algo, si hacemos algo, quiero que nuestra familia, nuestros hijos lo experimenten,
Yeah, for sure.
you know? Que ya serían como que 3, 4, como unos 10, 11. And if the other guys show up, that's even more. Unos
Yeah,
15 batitos y batitas. Pero yo sí estoy bien, I'm proud of what we did. We did it like qu- not quantity but quality in a short amount of time.
yeah,
Because
for
even
sure.
up to now, people remember it's still there. So I'm happy. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't I don't care who wants to deny it, but Roca Firme for sure was the pioneer of new metal, you know, in Spanish on the Christian side. No one could take that title away from us, regardless of who you think you are. I'm not talking about Vox Day and like those 80s rock. I'm talking about, 90s, 2000s, new metal, hard rock. And Roca Firme was the first in español.
And the original, there a lot of bands came out that were like, how do you say it without hurting anyone? Just
Just say it, bro. Say it like it is.
I don't know, like posers.
Yeah,
It's like we were black because we were skaters. Like I was into Metallica System,
yeah.
and but I had this message that I was like, okay, we're gonna give a good message. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean,
So,
dude, it's funny that you say that. I actually was having this conversation with one of my buddies this past weekend. You know that, they were like he was talking about the impact that Roca Firme had. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, I remember I went to this church, and then he's like, dude, did you hear? I just saw on YouTube an interview with RF, and the bass player says he listens to Corn. Can you believe that? Like, son hijos del diablo, they're gonna go to hell and this." I'm like, bro, shut up. So we were laughing about it, but the reality is like, I'm not gonna cap and say I don't listen to secular music. I do, just like I listen to Christian music, just like I listen to love songs. I listen to a bunch of stuff, but one thing I do know is that, and I remember we used to do this on purpose. We would close out our music listening anytime that we were writing for RF. We would like cleanse of anything that was coming out. We wouldn't listen to anything, and we would just focus on writing. And it was a very easy process. I don't know, maybe as you get older, things become you overthink too much. But a lot of our greatest songs were literally written in one day, complete, front to back, choruses, verses, bridges, everything. And some of the ones that are okay took months.
yeah, it's because that's when you try to please others instead of pleasing yourself. Like, hey, I like this song, I'm gonna put it out. It's like Quiero. Like the song starts, I was sitting in the corner of my bed, and that's what I was literally doing. I was like, huh, let me write a canción right now. And I'm like, I'm in the bed, and I'm like, sentado en la esquina de mi cama. And then I look over, and there's a mirror. Al ver mi reflexión. And then I get like, and then I get all like imagination. And
Yeah.
then I go, mira un hombre que un día fue valiente, cual vuelta tomó sin rumbo alguno. Anyways, you do good harmonies for me, bro, with me. So like, if we
That's
ever
because
did
I'm
something, you
dope.
gotta you gotta sing 100% of what you used to sing, because I know you get into the bass and then I'm all alone. But even like
Es que
that
the
part,
bass
no
playing,
entiendo
es que
por
mira, es que lo que
qué.
tienes que entender es que las líneas de bajo de las primeras canciones que escribimos están más básicas. So, está fácil tocar y cantar. Ya cuando me progresé un poquito más, está más difícil cantar y tocar el bajo, que ya ahora sí estoy haciendo un poquito más técnica. So,
Pero yo no te
me
estoy pidiendo
entenderás.
las elaboradas, las que comenzamos como quiero, aborto, la historia. Those are like esas son las que nos empezaron. So
Se puede hacer,
just
se
take
puede hacer.
note. Se puede hacer, todo puede pasar.
Todo puede
Yeah,
pasar,
man.
it's all
So,
good.
yeah, man. Pero, well, yeah, I mean, I think it was great times, man. There's a lot. I still have a lot of plans and everything, but todo su tiempo. Like you said, it's not easy. I appreciate, like you said, all like Dan. He's been supporting us since he met us. Um, Everybody else, Jen, Nohan, a lot of great people. David, Di, that has written some songs for me. So there is a cool network that we have, and Nohan was talking about it last time. Like it's about the networking and the network that we have, and
Yeah,
there's a lot of potential. It's just we have to thrive on in it. Just uh, believe it and just do it. So
yeah, for sure, man.
yeah, pues I don't know. I mean, we can talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, but I don't know if you have a message for anyone watching um, that you want to just leave here and just talk about. And like I told you, I've invited you to come on more. I mean, Roca Firme is your band too, and I'm just using the platform to get out there and communicate with people. But what's the message that you want to tell anyone watching right now?
Pues un mensajito, no quiero sonar como, el mensaje que normalmente toda la gente dice es like, hey, todo lo que puedas soñar puedes hacer. Pero la realidad es que es verdad. Todas las metas que te pongas, anything that you want to do, you really can do it. The only person that stops you from doing all those things is yourself and your confidence. So I would tell anybody that's listening me esté escuchando, si tienes sueños de lo de la música o de ser un artista, un actor, you know, una persona que escribe libros, an author, um, todo es posible, todo es posible. Lánzate sin miedo. Um, si te estás pensando en empezar tu negocio, lánzate, just do it, man. Um, Porque al fin lo único que pasa es el tiempo, te pones más viejo y no haces nada, y luego después you're gonna be kicking yourself in the ass for not acting and not doing when you were younger. So start today, empieza hoy, do what you gotta do to make your goals happen, and and know that God will bless you. Si tu corazón está in the right place, God will bless you.
Wow, me dejaste impactado, bro. That was awesome, man. You're my brother, so that's why I can mess with you. But I just want to tell you that you're an awesome person, man. I know that. I mean, we're brothers, so we got good times, bad times. But one thing I could tell you is that I know that I have your back, and that's what really matters. And I know you've had a lot of people's back. You're doing a big impact out there in Cali with everything that you're doing. And you have an incredible family and friends, and so just keep doing what you're doing, man. And I hope that we can continue to do things together. And I think it's time to visit each other. If you come here or I go there, you know.
Yeah, for sure,
And
man.
then uh, and then Dan said, "RF for life always shares those quick Mex trips." We did. Those shows were the best. I'm telling you, man, Mexico is where it's at. You
A lo
know.
mejor
So
México, a lo mejor en un año nos vemos.
sí, sí. No, y a toda la raza que estén mirando, pues, gracias por su apoyo siempre. Sigan escuchando la música, sigan orando por nosotros y a ver qué, qué información o noticias les podemos traer. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, Mo. Anything
No,
upcoming
just
you want to invite people or
gracias a
anything?
todos por how do you say it? Sintonizar.
Sintonizar.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and again, I think we'll be doing more of these together, probably preparing with some footage of concerts and experiences that we've had. Maybe bring some of the other band members in, just again, just so you guys can get to know us at another level. A lot of people nos mira like they're a very serious band, which we are, and we're in public, but we're just normal people. We're friendly, we smile, we laugh, we joke around. Um, and that's it, man. Gracias a todos y nos vemos muy pronto. A lo mejor en una ciudad o en un podcast. No sé, a ver qué pasa.
Alright, pues gracias a todos por sintonizar el día de hoy. Déjenme agarrar el intro o el outro, ¿no? El mismo uso. ¿Se oye o no? O es que le bajé el volumen.